Thank you. At first, I didn't introduce myself until they announced it, and I have one or two other questions. My name is Hakim Adebeshi, the founding president of Nigerian Community in Greater Cleveland. When we started in 1991, my first question is about the innovate that we pay to. Instead of going through third party, hasn't the embassy devised a system where we can pay directly to them, either through the Zelle or other means, rather than third party? Because some people said their money got lost or delayed. And my second question is about the 5-year and 10-year. Do we still have any 5-year passport at all in circulation after the introduction of the 10-year? Okay, thank you.
All right, please, if you don't, it's not long.
Hello, sir. My name is Lanre, and in July, I think July 13th, I came to the Nigerian embassy to renew my passport. And upon coming there, I guess I had some NIN issues, so I had to go back to who captured my who captured the NIN verification and all of that. So after that, it was report. Then I also reached out to the NIN office in Nigeria, and just to let them know to rectify everything. But they reached back out to me that everything has been sorted out. Then since July, I've come to New York twice. I've flown to New York twice, so 3 times in total, and I've still not been able to get my passport renewed. I'm coming to New York on Tuesday, as a matter of fact, and my hope is that upon coming to New York for the fourth time to renew my passport, I'll be able to get it. Is there anything that I mean, I'm not asking for any sort of compensation here, but it's frustrating that I have to leave work, I have to travel to New York 4 times before I'm even able to renew my passport. And coming to New York on Tuesday, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it. So that's my question.
Thank you. Mazi, step forward.
Hi, good evening. I have a question. My name is Prince Ugu. So my question is this: I have a child that I'm trying to get a passport for, but since I'm hearing the issues regarding to passports and the collection, so my question is this: because I'm planning a trip to go to Nigeria, I'm a little bit concerned in regards to that. If for whatever reasons I'm unable to get this passport before going, what do I need to do in order to take my son back home to Nigeria? Thank you.
Do we want to take more questions, or the ambassador want to answer to that? Okay, you want to read more? Okay.
Dennis and Nena, please go on with your question.
All right, good evening and welcome to Cleveland. My question basically is in regards to the, I believe it was widely popped about a year, 2 years ago, about visa on arrival, meaning that you can travel to Nigeria without necessarily having, if you have an expired passport, so on and so forth, that you could arrive and then get your visa at the port of entry. Is this still possible? And so that's one question. The other question is in regards to Q&A. I know the deputy immigration head of immigration mentioned a lot of things with regards to fees, so on and so forth. Is there a page or a one-page document that would have like frequently asked questions that we can access? That way we have answers to these questions readily available. I'll yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Okay. Any other one before?
Victor, you can go on with your question. Oh, visitor.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the statements, and we appreciate the work that you guys are doing, both locally and internationally as well. And I just wanted to, I had initially asked the question about developing a better system, but I just wanted to add to that. You know, I know the ambassador mentioned that the system originates from Nigeria, so there's nothing really, you know, the embassy can do. Let's say there's an issue or something breaks down. If the issue is coming from Nigeria, then there's nothing much that you guys can do over here. But my question was, are you guys ever open to the idea of people coming in to help you guys set something up that will help with your communication with people here? And what I'm referring to is, for example, as you can see, a lot of people are saying, you know, if they would have known ahead of the time, you know, like the gentleman that just mentioned, you know, he's coming to New York for the fourth time. You know, if you would have known ahead of time. I'm not saying you would know, okay, in advance that the system will be down, but there's at least some communication that happens between Nigeria and the team over here. So my question is, which goes to my question, are you open to hearing of ways or methods that you guys can work on your communication method with people who are either A, coming in for their appointments that day or coming in for their appointments that week? Like if you send them an alert or you just send them amped notifications, because I've heard the same complaint from several people that I went to the embassy and they didn't even tell me. I took off from work. I traveled from, you know, California, Texas, you know, but if we can work on that communication, and I would have some ideas, but I don't know if you guys ever listen to these things like that. So I just wanted to, you know, obviously it would be a private or a separate conversation. And I live in New York as well, by the way. So if you were ever interested in, you know, so thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll start with that. For those who have been following activities in New York.
Recording in progress.
For those who have been following activities in New York, you would agree with me that we are always open to innovations, suggestions on how to better deliver our services. NIDO, New Jersey, have come to our aid many times to see how we can better improve our communication. And they are currently working with the consulate to see how best we can communicate with our nationals. Apart from that, we have also opened a line of communication through the WhatsApp group with all associations registered under our jurisdiction to sort of inform them if there is any anomaly and also expect them to give wider publicity to this information. For instance, when we had problem on Monday, it was something we never envisaged. But as soon as that occurred, we contacted all those who are to come for the passport renewal, telling them that we have issues and as such they should await further confirmation before they come in. Well, there are two groups of Nigeria. We have two groups of people. Some people will never look at their mails, while some people will come in and think that there'll be something to be done about it. So, but then we have been able to manage that aspect. People came in and they moaned the fact that they have spent a lot, which we had to empathize with them. But then in doing that, we've also told them that we will do one thing or the other to ensure that we make within our power to mitigate some of the pains they have suffered. On issue of opening up, if you walk into the mission and you say you want to see me if I'm around, I'm sure from the security they will direct you to me. I receive anyone, and sometimes I walk around, and my colleagues also. So we're open to innovations. When we see something, if it's something we can implement, we give it a shot. All because we want to improve our service delivery. It may work, it may not work. We have, if you visit our website, we have the FAQ section, the frequently asked questions. And if you visit, you will see that almost everything we discussed in consulates have been put there for people's information. We only need to continue to encourage our nationals to visit the website and read some of these things and know how to situate their issue. I'll skip the visa on arrival process for my colleague to deal with because it is more than what we all go about thinking that visa arrival is for everyone. But she will break it further and tell. Well, for our national who has been a bit frustrated for coming to the New York office for three times, we're very sorry about it. But if it's something we can do, we would have taken your biometric and await but it's just something that we cannot within our limitations. So we are sorry about it. You want to come to you've scheduled to come to New York on Tuesday. We would want like you would have to confirm because let's see how we can better serve you. And that goes for everyone. We have all had to leave our phone number, phone lines, and we've been attending to those who have been calling. I've actually personally been responding to people who want to know that the system has started working because they want to come in. The fear of not getting their papers done before Yuletide, it's palpable. But I can assure you that we will do everything possible if you don't have NIN issue to make sure that this is done. And NIN keeps improving. But sometimes the problem with NIN, they tell you everything is done. But getting it into the immigration portal, getting that information into the immigration portal until it gets into the immigration portal, there's nothing we can do about it. But then, since you'll be coming on Tuesday, let's have your information and we will check. And I also leave my phone number with you or my colleague. We will check if your NIN is okay. If your NIN is okay and the system is working, we will certainly attend to you. And by the next production, which will be next week, that it will be taken care of. So that is to that extent. On the issue of innovate is something we don't have power over. It's a contractual agreement between the federal government and that organization to take care of payments and everything concerning passports. So let's leave it at such. It's not something we can dabble into. Government is looking at and saying how to improve issuance of passports and other related matters. Let's allow them continue. But if they seek our opinion, we will tell them. And normally, they will probably they probably have an idea of how we've been having, that nationals have been having difficulties. And people have been complaining about payments or payments made and payments not received early, and that you cannot even get them on phone. So we are passing these things over. That's to the extent to which we can go. We have the 5 years and 10 years passports, still issuance. I think my colleague will also address that also because from a certain age, you cannot get a 10-year passport, whereas the 5 years passport is open to all Nigerians. So if you are below a certain age, you are not expected to get the 10 years at least, because your features keeps changing, so it is not allowed. So that's to that extent, she will brief us more. What metric do we use in determining the payment for our services? If you go to our website, you will see the cost implication of any of our services. And those, the method had been determined there. You can read up and see what has been approved for it. So I think to that extent, I will leave that question on that. Then we in New York, we are open to suggestions. For instance, if you walk into New York, if you are not attended to, you don't leave, we don't leave you. And we don't close our door that, okay, it's 4 o'clock, everyone not attended to should go. We wait and ensure that every Nigerian is taken care of. And we've had situations whereby people can go, can travel in and finish their processing and go back, so as to reduce the costs of hotel and all other incidentals. We do this because we know that getting this money is difficult. And as such, we want to help our nationals maximize, to save, so that they can remit to their loved ones in Nigeria. On this note, I will hand over to my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you once again. Please, sir, you will give us your phone number so that by Monday morning, if the system is working, we'll call you, then we'll check your name so that you won't come on Tuesday again and you will have issues. I'm very sorry about what is happening to you. May God bless you. Then there was a man that came up about the children going to Nigeria by December. Yes. Do they have their biometrics? Do they have their name number? They don't have. So you can't even apply for passport for them. Do they have American passport? Before December. If they have American passport, since they don't have name, because we cannot guarantee that they will have their Nigerian passport produced before you go home. But if they have their American passport, you can apply for visas for them. Definitely, we treat you now as an American with your American passport, but you are still a Nigerian. Apply for the Nigerian visas for them. Then,
Children have Nigerian passports.
they don't.
They don't have.
They don't have Nigerian passport before at all. Oh, they were born here. Okay, just until they have American passport. Visa is just the best bet for them now. So maybe when you come back, we come and talk about their passport.
After now, we can discuss it.
Okay, so that you can understand, sir. Then, about the visa on arrival, most people have complained about applying for visa on arrival and they were not given. Yes, visa on arrival, the purpose of starting visa on arrival in Nigeria was mainly for business. They call it, in Nigeria we call it high worth investors. That means you must have as much as $500,000 or its equivalent. You understand? That means you can decide to go to Nigeria. In America, if you have that type of money, I think they give you your permanent residence immediately. So for you to apply for visa on arrival, you must be a businessman with that high volume cash. Secondly, visa on arrival is free, is issued to all African citizens, African Union. You can walk to any of our airports and you will be given the visa on arrival for all the 50-something nations in Africa. Then, visa on arrival, the process is you sit in your country, apply for visa on arrival on our immigration, they call it portal.immigration.gov.ng. Once you click it, all the facilities that immigration service offers pop up. You click the visa on arrival. When you apply, it goes to Nigeria. They give you pre-approval message sent to your email. Once you get it, it shows that you can come. Your names are already waiting at your point of entry. So that's where you make payment. But once you don't get the pre-approval, don't go. Because from the point of entry, you'll be put back inside that plane that brought you. So that's just it. Then the visa on arrival, like I told you, is mainly for people that are going for business and for frequently traveled traveled people, travelers, frequently traveled for business. Because there are so many people that want to travel to Nigeria tomorrow, because they've seen the way they travel for business, they will give them immediately. Thank you. And I don't know, somebody asked a question again about the name verification. I think they are having issues on this name verification. One, like Oga said, most of the time the NIN office will say, no, it's corrected now, it's corrected. But when they get to immigration system, you will realize it will still show name verification failed. We always call applicant to come and snap it with their phone so that they take it back to NIN office. So I'm sure that was what happened to my brother. But I know by God's grace it will be resolved now so that your passport will be issued. I'll personally take it to post office to go and mail it to you.
So let's go to the next round of questions, if there are any.
Oh, yes, I think we should focus on some of the chat questions. There's a lot we need to catch up here.
Well,
so the next...
Sorry,
okay.
Please, we have facility to process ETC, though your children don't qualify. Do they qualify for ETC? Do they? Okay, since their parents are 9, so you can apply for ETC for them. Then they will come back with an American. But then the problem has always been start the process, because when you are coming back, you may meet some immigration officers that will insist that you go and get visa on that American passport, because you only take ETC back to Nigeria with the hope that you will do the passport there. But most cases, when we go to our villages, it's only when we're about coming out again, we remember we've not done that. So that becomes a problem. And sometimes they come and accuse us that we gave them ETC and they were harassed when coming back. But if you have started the process, you have paid and you've got the list, you can show them that you are still processing, and they will allow your children to return without much of a problem. So we normally would advise you, please start the process. Don't say you will go to Nigeria, because when you go to Nigeria, you may be overtaken by other things. So it's when you are coming back, when people start harassing you, you now think that we have set you up. We have not set you up. So please get information to assist you. Thank you. We can also discuss immediately after now. That's why there's the opportunity for us to have an in-house program. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take some more questions from the chat. They are backing up here, so we want to catch up. The next question is from Ola. Should we still expect the passport from 2021 verification exercise in Minnesota? My name is Ola. The next question will be from Pastor Boshola. If my names are the same with my NIN, can I send my passport to New York because I had my biometrics taken 5 years ago? And the next question is from Akin. Oh, well, that's to everyone. If the NIN name and passport name do not match based on arrangements, should there be a secondary verification process to align the user persona in the system? Also, should the passport registration verify the applicant before finalizing the submission with the NIN, since they are both Nigerian systems and your system in New York is verifying that information? Why can't the same verification be done while filling the form? And then the next one also, I think it's from Akin too. Are same-day passports still issued with extra payment, and how much? And then another question. My name is Lazarus on Oranugo. Lazarus, Mr. Lazarus, we steal your hand here too. We could have gotten to you. If I travel to Nigeria with my expired passport, Nigerian passport, is still okay to do so? So he's saying if I travel to Nigeria with my expired Nigeria passport, is the passport still okay to do so, I assume? And that will be it. We've all caught up on the chat side.
Is that okay? We have Cecilia and Lazarus.
All right, so we've already gotten Mr. Oranugo. So, Ms. Cecilia, could you please go on with your question?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Your Excellency, good evening. Program for passport renewal for the diplomatic and official passport holders earlier. Please, could you explain further on that? Are you saying that federal government is considering extending that initiative to ordinary passport holders, whereby they don't need to be coming physically for them to renew their passports?
Cecilia, don't put me on the spot, but I said that currently now, the issue of diplomatic passports for those of us at mission can be renewed without having to go back to Nigeria to take biometrics. And I said, government is aware of this. And when they get to this bridge, they would go further in doing that. That will also help reduce the problem we are having with our nationals who live very far away from passport centers. The issue of passport administration, like you know, is evolving. So I wouldn't be surprised if this government decides, because the government wants to reduce our pain, and decides to now say, let's go one more step for that. It's not that I'm not making a categorical statement that government has decided, because that is not the intention. I'm only just using it as an example that it is possible, but it will need, authorities will need double confirmation to get that done and also bring that out. It's something that can be done, but let's hold on, let's begin to, we would also make our representations also know that this may reduce the problem we are facing, some of the problems we are facing. If it's done in other climes and it are successful, I think we should also begin to think of adopting same. That's that's the basis of that my answer. Is that okay, Cecilia? Well, I know that my colleague will tell us the number of passports we're expecting from Minnesota, but please be expecting your passport for those of us who have not got the passports. We are working on them. Sometimes we're having issue of payment expired because after 1 year, the payment, when you make your payment, if you look at under the form, it is you are told that between this period and this period, if it's not processed, it has expired. So what they are doing now is to renew the process without having to ask you to do anything. And that my colleague will tell us what she has been doing. And that has been part of the reasons why we have had a kind of drawback. But we are going ahead and we are getting things done, albeit crawling. Well, you cannot send your passport to New York because you have done biometric for the same reason I have just explained. We have not started the process. The fact that you have done your biometric 5 years ago does not mean that you can now send your passport and expect a renewal until that process comes on stream. So let's wait for that process. It will certainly come on stream because government has a listening ear in this regard. We don't have same-day passport issuance. And I don't think we've had that done because we also do not have the passport production machine in New York any longer. During the old system, we could have passports delivered to you same day if there is an emergency, and that is what was done. But right now, we all have to go to Washington to get them printed. So if anyone has told you that you can get your passport printed same day you do your biometric, well, want to believe that it's not in New York. We don't have that facility, and so there's no need beginning to give ourselves high hopes. The only thing I'll say is that we have made our representations concerning having production machine in New York because of the volume of our traffic. And I know that just today, the Minister of Internal Affairs did say that they need to unbundle some of these production centers. So government is thinking of unbundling, and when they unbundle, I know that we in New York should be able to get our production machine. When we get our production machine, we will be able to accelerate production because we will need human resources and otherwise to be going to Washington. We can facilitate the process. Whether you will get it same day or 2, 3, 4, 5 days will remain to be seen when we have production machine. So there is no expedited service in terms of producing your passport. Normally we tell you 2 to 3 months, but we in New York, some people have been fortunate to get theirs 4 weeks. If it runs to a situation whereby we're going to Washington, we just pack all, and if it's just that way, you get it done within 4 weeks. But it's 2 to 3 months for now, pending when we get our production machines. So,
Thank you, Sir Samas. Please, somebody said maybe you should mail the passport to New York. Like Oga said, please don't mail your passport to the consulate. Only when you are coming, please let it be handy with you. Bring it by yourself for sighting and they give it back to you. Then secondly, somebody asked maybe you can travel to Nigeria with the expired passport. Yes. December 2022, the government made a statement about traveling to Nigeria with your expired passport. December 2022, the government 2021 made a statement about traveling to Nigeria with your expired passport. December 2022, the government 2021 made a statement about traveling to Nigeria with your expired passport. December 2022. Can I continue? Okay. Yes, you can travel to Nigeria with your expired passport, but there are conditions attached to it. Number one, you must call your airline, informing them that you have expired passports, and they will tell you maybe they are able to take you to Nigeria. If you have a connecting flight, if you have booked an airline that have connection with their home country, they will not pick you with expired passport. For example, if you are going with Delta Airline that goes to Lagos, I'm sure they will pick you to Lagos because they direct. But if you are going with like Lufthansa, British Airways, you know they will have a stopover in London. No, they will not pick you. So when you have your expired passport and the airline picks you, there's a stand at a point of entries in Nigeria where you will see a banner, Nigerians with expired passport are welcome, because you are coming home. But there's another note of warning. When you have expired passport, SARS and MAS, and you have a green card, please don't go home, because you will not be able to come back. Except when you get to Nigeria, maybe you go and do a new passport there. What must be valid to come back with a green card? So the only person that can go to Nigeria with expired passport and come back, lawfully is somebody that is a American passport. But if it's only green card you have, and your passport has expired, and they've picked you to Nigeria, so you will stay in Nigeria. You will not be able to come back.
Also, please, if you said process in America and you think that will bring you back, it will not. So you are expected to complete the process, because sometimes we say we have started the process, we'll show it to immigration and we can come back. But American will not receive you because you are coming with an expired passport. So get clarification before you embark on your trip. I had conversation with someone just this week, and he was dishing out incorrect and inappropriate information to other Nigerians who came in for consular services. And I interjected. He was almost shouting, and it almost became a shouting match. And I told him, please get your information right. And he was dishing out incorrect and inappropriate information to other Nigerians who came. So I told the listeners, please, they should get correct information before they get into trouble. So please know the source of the information and work with it, because there are so many people that would reliably, they will tell you things you think it's reliable. But when you get to that situation, you only have yourself to blame because you did not do your due diligence on such matters. Thank you.
At this point, we would like to get some more questions from, we have some questions coming in from Facebook.
And it almost became a shouting match. And I told him, please get your information right. And he was dishing out your due diligence on such matters.
No, we do have questions from Facebook. Okay. So unfortunately, technicalities won't let us do that. But however, the question is, how can we get our NIN? There was a question from Facebook asking how can they get their NIN? And for those joining us, I know you already know where you are. We're having a town hall with our ambassador here in New York, and we have a lot of questions coming in. Any in-house question? All right.
Good evening, sir. Welcome, Your Excellency. Thank you for taking my question. I'm one of the guys that was involved in the intervention renewal. Okay, I have my INS, but I don't have my old passport. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to involve with a new one, or you have to put two of them together. Yes, I said I was one of the guys that was involved in the intervention in July. Have you received your passport? No. We will get that except because you cannot get another. Your name is already in the system, so we will still get that passport. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, my name is Okay. So my question, I don't want to take you guys back. 2 years ago, I went with my family to Atlanta. We have paid for everything. 6 people trying to go to Nigeria. We got to Atlanta, their stuff was closed. Came back, taking 6 people to Atlanta, and coming back to Cleveland without nothing. We went again, second time. They said it's closed. And I said, what can we do? You say it's closed. It's like when something is closed, there's nothing you can do. So the third one, we went again. They said our payment has expired. Imagine 6 people with paying everything, even though when I came back to Cleveland, there was a way I was trying to pursue it. I work in the bank, so I would just to tell them something has, I lost it, and eventually somebody cashed it. So when I was trying to start that process, then my wife said there's no need. There's no need of going through that process. And I said, okay, for that money we have paid, who took the money? It's just like paying for a car and you didn't get your car. So my question, is there any way they can start that process that people will go and they say the money has expired? Thank you.
Let me quickly answer you. This is not within our jurisdiction. So we are not able to have answer to you. We could ask our colleagues what the situation is. It's not something we can readily provide answer to. But my colleague will want to say one thing or the other. Normally, New York services this jurisdiction. If you go out of your jurisdiction and whatever happens, well, we would only wait or ask for intervention of our colleagues in those areas. So I don't know what to say. I'm a bit distant about it, but we empathize with you as it is, but there's a way out. Hold on.
I'm sorry about what you went through with your family, sir. But there's a way out, sir. Number one, do you have all the application ID and the reference number of all of you? Okay. You want to search for it or you have it? You look for it, right? Okay, sir. Once you have it, because the payment you made for your passport was for the physical booklet to be given to you, and the physical booklet was not given to you. So the money is there. So you have to apply, you send email to Innovate. They will refund that money. It may take time, but they will refund it to your account because physical passport was not given to you. That's number one. Number two, please, sir, you can just apply for a fresh one and try and come to New York. And always check the website to find out the time that the missions are closed. Okay. Yes, sir.
When we get there and they say that it has expired, we have to pay upfront.
No, I understand what you are saying. Okay, sir.
So what I'm saying that we have already got the passport.
You have gotten it?
Yeah, we got it. But we have to pay additional money.
No. not additional money. The other one you paid. So that's what I'm telling you. They will give you back. Did you apply for the refund? No, not to any bank. It's not to your bank. It's to Innovate. Yes, you send to Innovate with your reference. They know once they check the application and the reference number, they will know that physical password was not given to you. They will refund you your money, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Chobodolonso, and I have a follow-up question. The one clarification is, I think the Consul General mentioned ETC. I don't know what that is, so if you could give us a little bit more explanation on that.
Emergency travel certificate.
Okay, thank you. And then my sister had said something about the visa on arrival. And when you were answering the question, you keep saying mostly. So my question is, are there exceptions to people being able to get the visa on arrival? Because and what you said is consistent with the information on the website. But I've talked to a few people who have been able to get visa on arrival for children. And just when you were saying mostly for business, I'm wondering if there's any exceptions to the visa on arrival. And then 2 more questions. I know there's no expedited services for passports. Are there expedited services for visas? How long does that take? And what is the extra fees for that? Thank you.
You want to take more? Okay.
Thank you very much for taking my initial question. My name is Okoyemi Adeweso. I just have a follow-up question to my initial question. And my follow-up is that since we have waited for almost 2 years with no passports in sight, and you said it's still going through a process, is there a time frame? We live in a country that works with a time frame. I know. Is there a time frame when we should expect this passport that we applied for in July 2022? Thank you.
I would like to ask one more question before you give answers. My name is Everest Anozie. Sometime in 2021, I applied for emergency travel certificate, emergency, and I was told that it cannot be mailed express. It can only be mailed through regular mail. Okay, I was supposed to buy a self-addressed envelope, and FedEx or UPS is not allowed, even though it's an emergency travel certificate. They said it can only be mailed back to me through the regular USPS, even though I already have a travel ticket.
Let me start with the issue of expedited payments. I thought we have talked about there is no expedited payments. The Visa Center charges admin fees for their services.
Recording stopped.
I don't think there is any expedited payment. What we have done to some extent is the fact that if you feel you get your visa within 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So you look at where you want to travel and make your travel plans. As soon as you buy your ticket, you should also make your travel plans available and get a visa. But what we normally have is a situation whereby a Nigerian has done everything only for him to run to the mission either from the airport or a day or 2 before traveling. And he wants either the visa, passport, or travel document to aid his trip. Like our sister said or has hammered on the fact that
recording in progress.
We work in a society whereby things are predictable and it is time framed. We cannot push our visa center to go beyond their remit of duty to get it done for you immediately. So let there be an allowance of time, 2 weeks, at least before most Nigerians will buy their ticket 6 months, 5, 6 months to get good rates. The same thing as you are buying your ticket, also ensure that all your travel plans, all your travel documents are in place. Not that you've done this, then you now want to now railroad us to doing things that that are not humanly possible, but because you want to travel. So that is just it. I'm still sorry for the time frame issue. It is not entirely in our hands, but we will continue to push. We probably had about 100 and something passports from here. And right now, I'm not beating my chest to say we have produced up to this. It's your right to get your passport early enough, and we will work on this. I have a target that probably before, in the next 3 weeks, we would push, because the minister is also pushing them in Nigeria to. So because they are also pushing them in Nigeria to clear those backlog, we are also pushing them to tell them we keep having this. I went to Rhode Island just some 2 weeks ago for a ceremony, and I met some Nigerians. We got talking, and after finishing our discussion over lunch, somebody brought this issue to me that we came on passport intervention. Him and his wife are yet to receive. I got deflated, came back home. I pursued, I wanted to find out what is the status of this thing in Rhode Island. And we are working on that. I am putting pressure on my colleague every day. Sometimes I wonder if she will run away from me, because I know that the heat is on me. When I get calls about these issues, I want to make sure that we deliver, because sometimes people need these passports for their documentations. I have a lady in Minnesota who has been calling and saying she needs her passport because she wants to do documentation for her citizenship and all that. But she's coming in too late. She doesn't have an NIN. She doesn't have any. So I told her, please go and get your NIN sorted out and all that. I understand, but there's nothing I can do about it. I only promise that, well, if you finish everything and come in, even if you come in, just let me know. I will see how to assist. And that's the one thing we do. We try as much as possible to assist. I want to believe that we will, because the numbers remaining are not many. from us because you only need to show up or you send your document and it is done and resent back to you within 24 hours. At the most, if it's a Friday, probably 48 hours. Thank you so much. Are there more questions?
Absolutely. We want to take. Okay, no, go ahead.
Good evening again. I just have want you to throw a little bit light about the ETC. So since it's a 14-day thing, if you go to Nigeria, so how do they pick it up from there? Let's say you travel to Nigeria and you spend like 2 weeks, and from the 2 weeks you already
Recording in
that
progress.
wouldn't be a situation coming back to the US. Okay, so you just have to use your passport.
Use your passport, but I must warn, start the process.
Okay.
If you don't start the process, you'll be forced to pay for a visa in Nigeria. Okay.
Any more question here before we go back online? Michael?
So we have another question from Facebook. This is from Paul Okonkwo. Kindly clarify the issue of entering Nigeria with expired, that's entering Nigeria with expired Nigerian passport.
Entering Nigeria with expired passport, like I said before, I will reiterate it again. Once you want to go to Nigeria with your expired passport, make sure you call your airline. And the airline that can pick you directly to Nigeria is the one you should book. And I gave an example of Delta Airline. I think it's only Delta Airline that goes to Nigeria without stopping anywhere. And you still have to call them. Let me give you an example. I think about 3 weeks ago, a family of 4, they got to the airport and they were returned back. So they had to they stayed in the consulate for that 24 hours with the defense attaché. Because they got there, they booked what they call Lufthansa with their expired passport, just because they said they can travel to Nigeria with their expired passport. Thank God they had American passport. So they had to apply for visa. So we issued them visas. Please, when you want to travel to Nigeria with your expired passport, confirm with the airline you have booked. And you cannot travel on expired passport with an airline that will have, a stop somewhere, because they will not pick you. They won't even allow you to board from here. They will return you back. That's just it. I hope I've answered the question.
All right.
Then my brother asked about exemptions on visa on arrival, that you saw a baby that was given, right? A baby. Yes. As an immigration officer, when you are being trained, you are trained on how to use your discretion sometimes. You use your discretion in doing some things. I'm sure that's one of the discretion. Thank you.
Again, we want to remind our viewers that you can join us on Facebook, YouTube, and as well as the Zoom. We have more chat questions from the Zoom portal here. This is from Oluwaso Akinola. How long does it take to get my passport if I apply now? Another question from James Omotosho. My name is James Omotosho. How quickly can I get a visa from New York office to travel to New York? In Nigeria, basically to travel to Nigeria in December. So how long will it take for him to get a visa from New York to travel to Nigeria in December? Can I get my visa within a week after applying?
Get your appointment. It's within 14 days. So space within 14 days, work towards that. We normally would say 2 to 3 months before you get your passport. That's on the condition that you have no issue with NIN, payment problem or any other related matters. But then we can also assure you that most cases we have decided to increase the number of times we go to Washington during this period to make sure that our nationals who want to travel uninhibited. So that is the sacrifice we are making to send colleagues back to back for production. Also, it will also depend on Washington having time for us also, but we will do all we can to make sure that everything works out well. Thank you.
And we keep moving on with the questions from chat. This one is from Easy. This one is from Iziada Chika. Good evening, all. I haven't received my passport from our last year exercise, which is more than a year now. May I know why the delay, please? Thanks, Chika. And how to resolve that? Well, Chika didn't specify where they are. The next question is from Mokocha. Thank you for this town hall. Please, I need to renew my expired Nigerian passport and would like to know the current process, how to obtain a new one from the embassy in DC. Another question from Pastor Boshola. My name is Pastor Boshola Shomolo. Your Excellency, thank you for coming to Cleveland. God bless you. Thank you for that encouragement, Pastor. Another question from Annie Okun. Is there an expiration date for a refund from Innovate? And Niafok Epe has a question. Are new passports processed in New York or processed in Abuja? I think we're all caught up on the chat.
Passports are produced in New York, but we get approvals from Abuja. If that is the question. There are so many questions. I think we're repeating ourselves.
Right, I can agree. Some of the questions have
if
been
it's just
touched
joining,
on. Yeah.
if it's just joining us, because we have time here, we would answer. Then the issue of what other thing did the fellow ask for again?
And there were multiple of them. Let's
Yeah.
scroll up here.
When can?
So
Sorry.
Chika didn't specify where they are asking the question from.
The places we did our intervention.
Okay, that's Cleveland intervention from.
Well, let's get that information.
Okay.
We will check because we know we have 13, 26, barely 26 from Cleveland here are waiting. So we would work towards getting that done, just like we will work towards getting that of Rhode Island, Indiana, and all that. Indiana is about, 20? 37. So within that, we will get all that done.
All right. Have any question in the room?
Is it possible to just mail in your passport for visa, or you still have to show up? You have to show up.
The only person that can mail their passport for visa is a child below 0 to 5 years. You mail. Then somebody that is above 65, because their biometrics cannot be captured. But 6 to, you are 65. Okay. 5 years, 1 month to 64 years, 11 months. You come for your biometrics.
Thank you.
I have a question too, Mr. Ambassador. During the Cleveland exercise, I think that was when we were changing, meaning the Nigerian system was changing from paper to enhanced. So I think some of us did pay for that process, but then we're not okayed to participate because we were told that we paid into the new enhanced. So therefore, we couldn't be part of the exercise. And just like my good friend that asked earlier on, how long does a payment that was sent to Innovate still, how long will it still be valid in the system for it to be reused?
Well, you check your the paper you received.
I have everything.
No, if you paid, there is a date underneath.
Right.
What on the paper that has your payment?
It says 6 months.
No, it normally has a date.
Mhm.
Check.
Okay.
Then you know whether you have to ask for Innovate to refund you, then to start the process again.
Okay, so they don't just refund everybody.
No, you have to apply.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think we have another question here. Oh, okay, I'm being told that where are we? Whoa, it's 8. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, time really runs fast. So I think with that, we would like to hand it over to
I believe this has been a worthwhile venture. Let's clap for ourselves. We have been able to interact, and there are questions I know that for those of us who are here will still want to ask after now. But let me thank our compatriots who have also come online to ask questions and also participate in today's program. We don't take this for granted. It's a way of building relationship, and that's why the consulate has embarked on this. This is our 11th in the series. I pray that we will continue this way so that this will help thaw some of the would I say some problems or questions that are always begging for answers. And it will also help the consulate to give you good services. And at least you would also better inform other nationals some of the things you have heard today. I want to thank Cleveland for giving us this warm reception. We are more than happy, and we look forward to having our next town hall meeting in February, hopefully by the second week. By the third Friday in the month of February will be the next one. Hopefully, I pray there'll be no changes. But then we've always had it at the second month of every quarter and the third Friday of that month. So we've been consistent about it, and people now begin to put it in their calendar. It shows that the people are willing to work with us, and just like we are also willing to work with them. I want to thank everyone for participation. And for those of us who have come in here with great expectation about their frozen passports, we will take down your this thing and we will get back to you in the next 10 days at the most. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, You will all agree with me that we have a beautiful night. This was well presented by the ambassador and his team. We are very, very grateful for their presentation, their responses to our questions. They were they gave us detailed answers to our questions. Uh, I don't think we can have it any better than this. They were very straightforward. They were honest with their answers to some of our questions, even though we may not have received the answers we were expecting, but they told us the truth. They gave us some suggestions to be careful that don't go to Nigeria if you have expired passport and you have your green card. You may not come back unless you can renew your passport when you get into Nigeria. They talk about the expired passport, so you have to check with your airline. They talk about the different categories of visas. They talk about a whole lot of things, and now we are all educated. And they are also very open to us helping them. By helping them, we're helping ourselves. So thank you to all of you. We're extremely very grateful. And we are grateful to NIDO, Ncgc, my sisters and brothers in the house, my sisters and brothers online. God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
We won't end the night event without being appreciative of those that made today a success. So we were able to have this event today because we had generous donors that made this event a success. So we want to thank each and every one of you, and we ask that God replenish your accounts wherever you may have pulled them from. Thank you.
One more. Can we have a standing ovation and give a round of applause to Ambassador and his team?
And finally, for those that are here, we'll be reaching out to you directly about joining NIDO. I mean, you're technically a NIDOan. It's just a question of identifying yourself. And for those that are online, remote, anywhere, and you're here in Cleveland with us, we'll definitely be reaching out to you to make sure that you become a registered NIDO Cleveland chapter, Northeast Ohio chapter. Thank you. With that, we'll call the event to an end. Thank you.
Recording.
Excellent service.